Welcome back to the 30-Second Success Podcast. If you've ever looked in the mirror and felt frustrated because you've tried everything, if you started over on Monday more times than you can count, or if you've ever wondered why losing weight feels harder than it used to, this episode is for you. Because the truth is, lasting health isn't built through punishment, perfection, or endless dieting. It's built through small, sustainable choices that work with your life, not against it. And today we're talking about what it really takes to create lasting change in your health, your mindset, and your confidence. But first, if you're someone who knows you're meant for more, but you've been second guessing yourself, overthinking your message, or struggling to clearly communicate your value, I'd love to invite you to check out the Brand Success Hub. The Hub was created for entrepreneurs, professionals, speakers, leaders, and purpose driven individuals who want practical support in building confidence, strengthening communication, clarifying your message, and creating more meaningful connections. Inside, you'll find live trainings, visibility strategies, AI powered communication support, leadership insight, and mini trainings from incredible experts and guests like the one joining us today. You can learn more at 30secondsuccess.com/hub. Now, let's jump into today's conversation. So, with me, I am delighted to introduce you to my good friend and our guest for today, Maureen, Coach Mo Cooper, a healthy lifestyle and nutrition coach who helps busy women break free from cycle of dieting, overwhelm, and constantly starting over. After losing more than 65 pounds and maintaining that success for over 15 years, she now teaches women how to create simple, sustainable habits that lead to lasting weight loss, increased energy, and greater confidence. Her philosophy is simple: your best health is closer than you think. Welcome, Mo. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I am delighted to have you. Why don't you share just a little bit with our audience about the work that you're doing and how it is changing people's lives?
Hi, Laura. Oh my gosh, it's so great to be here. I feel like we've been threatening to do this for a long time, so it's great to finally be in your little virtual studio. Um, it's a joy what I do because I help women get out of their heads of limitation, repeat cycles of self admonition. You admonish yourself that cycle of I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, and doggone it, people don't like me and I don't like me, all because of how they what they weigh, all because of how they present themselves, all because of what they feel like life is happening to them and the chaos that they live in, the stress that they're under. So when people come to me in my little school community, I welcome them and create a safe space where they can feel good about themselves again. I'm talking about busy women. I have busy moms, I have busy corporate women, I have women who own their own multi-million dollar businesses that are coming to me after being exhausted by diets, exhausted by the rat race of trying to be healthy, and now they've got a diagnosis that they just can't ignore anymore. So, how I help them is not extreme dieting, not crazy workouts, not overhauling their life, but rather looking at how they spend their time every day and then starting to make subtle, small shifts that they can do that are highly doable that have exponential impact on their overall health and well being. And so it all starts in your calendar, and that's where we begin.
Awesome. I love that. I love that. And, one of the things that you've talked about before is about the emotional, right? The discovery of the emotions that are driving us.
Mm.
And, so what emotional weight are most women carrying that often goes unnoticed?
The all or nothing thinking, the shame cycle, I'm such a loser. God, why can't I just lose this weight? What is wrong with me? And it becomes a pattern. It becomes okay, Monday, it's nothing but Diet Coke and lettuce, as my mother-in-law used to say. Like, I'm gonna get real serious, I'm gonna get real disciplined, I'm fine this time, I'm gonna stick with it, I'm gonna do it, and then they're great, and then Wednesday rolls around, they're like, oh, forget it. I'm face down in a bucket of Oreos and I was gonna say in a tab, that's aging me. So it's the stress that you're already under stress. You are already carrying the weight of so much. And so the emotions are the feeling that you need to do more, be more, work harder, be more disciplined. Where the opposite is true. You need less discipline, you need less pressure. And it's because it's that pressure that's raising your cortisol. It's that pressure that is keeping you in a state of chaos and confusion. Eat this, don't eat that. Do this, don't do that. Do this, don't do that. I mean, it's nonstop. No wonder women are exhausted. So they're carrying this emotion of constant failure. So like that is a that the from with me, this is the train stops here. The crazy train stops with Coach Mo because we don't do any of that. This is where you get to get off that train, never get on again, and really just start living in peace and calm and confidence. Feel sexy again in your skin. Feel good about yourself and your choices, and not feel guilty about prioritizing your health. I give you permission slip to let go of the guilt and shame, prioritize you so that you can be better in your business, in your family, in all the roles that you play and enjoy yourself. Because, yeah, girl, if it's not fun, I don't want to do it. So, yeah, it's a lot of emotions we carry and they're just not necessary.
I love that perspective. If it's not fun, I don't want to do it.
Now, I know I'm the youngest of six kids. No, I'm the babe. I'm the princess. I don't want to do it. So the fact that if I can do this, y'all, anybody can do it. Honestly, if it like I want to have fun and I want to make it doable and I want to make it simple, and that's what spurred me on to create the system, the restore your rhythm method, so women could get back to themselves, love themselves, be with themselves, and forget lose the weight, but not just physical weight, but emotional and spiritual and mental weight too, because it's not just physical weight we're carrying.
I love that. And I think that's so powerful, just really, because, and I know this because I have one of your stickers in front of me that says, I freaking love me, mind, body, and soul. And that's the pet, exactly that sticker right there. And I think that's the most powerful thing that you can do is when you start to love yourself and take care of yourself, you are able to actually give more to those around you. Because
Yes.
when we deplete our own energy, we are unable to care for others.
Yeah.
And so many women are really, we're givers. We're designed to be givers. And
Yeah.
we give so much of ourselves that we're just exhausted and forget that the first person you need to be taking care of is you
Yes.
in order to be able to serve others. And I think that's very powerful in our mindset. That mindset shift is so powerful and yet so difficult for many of us because
Hmm.
we weren't raised in that that mindset of take care of you first so you can take care of other people. It's always been take care of everybody else first.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
think making that shift almost feels selfish
Yes.
in
The
some ways.
nurture. I mean, because the feminine energy is very much about nurturing.
Mhm.
The masculine energy is very much do, 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 go, 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 fix, build, all those things. The feminine energy is the nurture. It's the going deep. It's the undulation of the rhythms that we flow through every month through our cycle. Even if you're postmenopausal, we still have those hormonal shifts. And here's the lie that we've been given is that, oh, she's so amazing. She just does it all. There's no
Mhm.
awards for that. You know what? Those are the women that you're visiting in the hospital with stage 3 breast cancer because they've been doing it all except taking care of their health. I mean, I don't need to be harsh, but it's true. You are doing it all for everybody else. But I love the quote, compassion that doesn't include yourself is incomplete. You must include yourself in this mission. Like I said, the only reward that you're going to get for putting everyone else first is sickness, disease, uh, like dis-ease. These are the things that we get from not prioritizing our health. So I am on a mission to shift that mentality to where you can fill your own cup because we are currently pouring from an empty cup. It's okay to fill your cup. It's okay to say no. It's okay to show up for yourself first. Like, no, this isn't really serving me. It's not selfish. I mean, I have a friend going to Scotland today. We were talking about it at boot camp this morning, and she said she's getting an Uber. I'm like, girl, I literally have to be out of the house for during that time. I will drive you. And because we always feel like we're not in a camp on our own. And the funny thing is, she drove me to the airport last time, so I'm like, oh, this is perfect. And so hopefully she'll take me up on it. But there's no rewards for doing it all. And so but because I'm at peace, because I'm at ease, I can make this time for my friends. I can make this time. So it's a beautiful thing because I'm like actually looking forward to that hour drive to the airport and back. I'm like, I can listen to stories. I can listen to, podcasts. Like this is a beautiful, you start looking forward to life, and that is a wonderful thing.
Mm. And and that that actually leads into the question of what happens when women finally believe he's worthy of taking care of herself.
My God, did you just hear me take that deep breath? Because
Oh,
I feel that viscerally, that worthiness, and it's a journey. It is a journey. A lot of women have trauma with a capital T that they're dealing with. They're carrying things from childhood, carrying things from, women are the fairer sex. We are more vulnerable and things do happen. And even if nothing has happened, it's just life. There are all these things, expectations placed upon us. And that lack of worthiness is a very real thing. And because we're sugar and spice and everything nice, don't ruffle feathers, just be pretty, sit there and be pretty. And we lose ourselves in this. So that worthiness is going deep. So what happens is we try to lose weight physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally from all these messages from outside of ourselves. But really, it's when you start to go deep. And this is a trust fall. This takes courage because when you stop and breathe and start looking inward, which can be painful, that's where freedom lies. And that's when it's exciting. So, something I do when women come to me, the first thing I have them do, or I suggest, actually, it's kind of a prereq for joining my group because it's the foundation of everything. I say, tell me what you do in a day. I want you for one day to write down everything you do, like 30-minute increments, nothing like super strict, I don't need a moment to moment play by play, but from the moment you get up to the time you go to bed. And not just your activities, what's occupying your thoughts? What are you worrying about? What are you listening to? What is the internal dialogue that's happening? I've had many women go, nope, just turn around like I am not doing that. And I was like, God bless. When you're ready, come back. Because when women do that, when women come and they see how they're spending their time, how they're spending their energy, what thoughts they're processing every day. Oh my, I get goosebumps every time I talk about this because when they come to like, I didn't realize I was spending so much time on this or how much I was worrying about that or and I'm like, yes, that is the beginning. That is the corner turned because that is the beginning of understanding your value, your worth. You're not just a machine. You're not just going through the motions. No, you're here with purpose on purpose. You're a beautifully and wonderfully made human being. And now we get to discover just how and why. And that's the fun part, getting in. That's why someone said to me, actually, it was AI said, you're not a weight loss coach. You're a mentor, you're a guide. And it's so true because you lose weight, and that's why women come to me, but it really becomes a byproduct of understanding your worthiness, understanding the love, how important the love of self really is. And I feel honored to be part of these women's journey because I get to witness it firsthand and it's amazing. So that worthiness is a huge part of it.
hmm. I love that. And the biggest thing too is that so many women are afraid to look inward. Right?
Oh
Are
yeah.
afraid to, they know they know what's going on. They just don't want to, really give in to addressing it because it's one of those things like, how do I change? How do I change all the things that have been ingrained in me for so long? And, there's that fear,
Yeah.
that underlying fear. But I think it's important to have someone to guide you through that, and to help you slowly release it. And I think that's one of the beautiful things that you do. I've witnessed the work that you do. It's amazing, when people, have experienced, personally, I've experienced it, and I know others who have worked with you that have experienced it. And it's just, there is something so powerful in releasing
Ugh,
the things that hold us back, right?
yeah,
And release and realizing that, you know, we're we are worthy of self-love.
yeah.
And but we've, those old stigmas that come with, like, oh yeah, she's conceited if she loves herself, that whole, I
Oh,
know. We grew up in
absolutely.
that, right? Like we grew
Absolutely.
up with that,
Who
and
do
it's
you,
it's
who do you think
awful.
you
It's like,
are?
yeah,
Like, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. She's so full of herself. How many times you hear
yeah.
someone ugly say, ugly as we say down here in the South, meaning your insides, not your outsides, saying like, "Oh, she's so full of herself." Like, well, first
Mhm.
of all, if someone really is self-obsessed with their looks, that's insecurity. I mean, so feel bad for them because confident people don't feel a need to build themselves up, but confident people also understand their worth. And so it really comes with
Right.
confidence. And I love what you said there because, yes, it's real pain. And I don't gloss over that at all. It is physically painful to look inward sometimes, most times. I remember one time, part of my onboarding is I got to know how much you weigh. And so I was like, so, that's just like, okay, your name and your date of birth and how much do you weigh? And this
Mhm.
woman, bless her, she burst into tears. So much pain and weight and history is attached to that damn number on the scale.
Mhm.
And so that's why I love what I do because I create an environment where you have to make that first step. You have to have that step off that ledge. But I create an environment where that ledge just ends up being 2 inches. Like I am there to catch you, to say, to guide you, and to say, it's okay. It's all right.
Mhm.
I get it. I feel your pain. I really, really do. It's one of the sucky and blessed parts of being empathic because I do feel people's pain. And it's again, I say it's an honor because when they trust me with this journey, there's a squirrel out there. When they trust me with this journey, you get to breathe again. You don't realize how many years, I didn't realize how many decades, 40 years of guilt and shame I carried where I did not breathe. Like
Mhm.
sometimes literally, where I was just so contained in this small shell of a life. And it wasn't until I started leaning into my self-worth and self-value and I could like let go and breathe. And so it's to be part of someone else's journey. I can't even say. Like I just feel God has given me such a gift to be able to be part of such an amazing journey in other people's human lives. So it's
Mhm.
awesome. And thank you for that, for saying like you've experienced it. Girl, and I'm so much better now than I was back then. We all just get better and better, and it's wonderful.
Well,
And you know what? Oh, I wanted to say also, the message, you do the 30-second success, the message. What's your message? What's the message you're telling yourself? So that is something. So I think I want to focus on that. Like, what is the message you're telling yourself every morning? Because that we believe what we tell ourselves. And so I think that's a really nice segue into what you do and what I do. Because that message is
well,
huge.
belief is, that's 90% of the challenge with most people, even in their brand communications messaging, and when they're trying to explain what they do for, when they how they help people, is they have to believe it themselves.
Yes.
And belief plays a huge role in our ability to see who we are, see what our gifts are, and to be able to express that to the world.
Yes.
And when you've felt defeated for so long, and I think sometimes the traditional approach to weight loss and
Yeah.
self-care has really left a lot of women feeling defeated,
Oh,
even in
yeah.
their messaging. And, whether it's the message that you're telling yourself or the message that you're telling the world, we have to be able to encourage one another
Yeah.
and, support one another in the way that we see each other. When we see each other's
Yeah.
beauty and brilliance, we need to be
Yeah.
telling each other that.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it begins. And I just had a really great conversation with a friend of mine recently about being able to receive that gift from someone else. When somebody is complimenting you and encouraging you, receive it. Just
Yeah.
receive it. Be open to receiving it. And I think a lot of women struggle with that,
Yes.
receiving, believing that other people see their worth because
Yes.
they don't see it in themselves. And I think the work that you do really helps to women to really embrace that. And I love that about the work that you do. So,
And seeing it, what's really great and what I love about community, no matter whether community, like I go to boot camp because if I don't show up, they're gonna kick my butt. Like where were you? Why weren't you there Monday night? I was like, I was in a meeting, I couldn't be there, because being held accountable. But it's oh my God. What were I just wrote it down. You see yourself. So when you start to lose weight, not just physically, but emotionally. Other people are going to see it first. So when you're in a community, other people are going to be cheering you on and they're going to say, "Oh my God, you look amazing." I have a client I've been working with for a few months and like she told me like people are coming up to her and saying like, "Have you lost weight?" She goes, "She didn't even lose a lot of weight, but she was so much calmer. She was so much more focused. She just was really starting to enjoy life for the first time, even though she's a super dynamic person." And a lot of things that come with seeing the self, there's a lot of fear of losing yourself because you become attached to a certain identity, with your weight, with the shame you carry, with, like, yeah, I'm doing it. This, like, you have a false sense of strength of how you see yourself. So the beautiful thing is when other people start to see the shift in you, the people who support you and not the people who feel threatened by your change, which is another conversation. And but then what's beautiful is like you get those messages and then one day you're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I see it in myself. I'm starting to see this in myself." So it's this wonderful symbiotic relationship having someone like a coach or a mentor and a community around you seeing it because it reinforces that like, okay, I'm not just like this is actually working because we don't always see it in ourselves first. And so it's because we're not meant to live in isolation. Meant to live in community. And so that's another beautiful thing about as you embark on a journey of health and weight loss and all those beautiful things, surrounding yourself, it's so important with the people you surround yourself with because they will see it in you even before you do. And it's just wonderful. Yeah. So, but it is hard to see it in yourself at first or to even see the end when you're so deep in the mire. And so it just takes that one small step and it's beautiful when it happens. So yeah, I love it.
that's so encouraging. Thank you for that. So, if this conversation is resonating with you, make sure you like, subscribe, and share the podcast with someone who may need this reminder today. Because so many people are carrying more than they realize, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. And sometimes one conversation can be the spark that reminds us we're not broken, we're simply overwhelmed. And that's exactly why we have these conversations here. So, Mo, talk a little bit about the changes that people can expect, can experience. I know you've talked about the physical changes that people experience when that weight loss comes, but I know there's a lot of people who really struggle with, you know, all of a sudden feeling the newness, right? And
Mhm.
there's an impact on the direction of their lives when they start to care for themselves and
Mhm.
lose weight and come out of that shell. And I know that's something that you experienced personally when
Yeah.
you went through the weight loss transformation. So talk a little bit about what people can expect when they go on this journey of self-discovery, weight loss, and self-care.
Uh, so getting away from the old idea of diet and exercise is the pathway to health, which it's part of it, of course. But what's wonderful is when you start to make these small changes in your life. And the big thing for me is wins. How are you winning today? What win are you chasing? Now, I'm not a super competitive person, but at the end of the day, when I get into bed and I'm like, man, I'm so glad I remember to take my supplements today, that I got up and moved around every hour, that I really served myself in some meaningful way. These small, it sounds goofy in the beginning, like, yeah, I'm really good at doing this or whatever, but it becomes a pattern. We're rewiring your brain because you're creating a new identity. You're going from, you think about the identity you have now, that message you send yourself every day. Oh my God, I'm such a loser. I always use that expression because that was a constant message in my head. God, I'm such a loser. I mean, like you can feel how I say that with great authority. And I don't do that anymore because I don't identify as that anymore. And you start identifying as a healthy person. And it's kind of like the bracelets that we used to wear or still wear, WWJD. What would Jesus do? What would a healthy person do? That becomes your mantra. What would a healthy person do right now? Would they have five s'mores or one s'more or no s'mores or just a little bit of chocolate? Or what do I really want? And just having, and it doesn't have to be like this complicated thing, but it's amazing when health becomes your default. Like, yeah, I want to have a glass of wine. Sure. I have that. And I'm going to make sure I have my protein today too. And it just becomes like a default setting. And that's beautiful. Now, that's the upside because something that we really struggle with is called decision fatigue. And I eat pretty much the same thing for breakfast every single day. I mean, every day because I don't want to think about it. So dinner is usually something different. And then lunch is generally leftovers, and so, but having one less decision to make every day is so important because we make thousands of decisions every day. So if we're releasing pressure in your life, so you're going to feel less pressure. You're going to feel freer. You're going to feel more in control of your life, which a lot of the times, which we have little kids or, running meetings or whatever, we don't have that sense of control in our life. And so that's the good thing. That is the good thing. The downside can be fear of losing your identity. And I had this with another client who she was very dynamic human being, very, she's like, oh my God, I don't want to lose who I am. I'm like, no. You know what's beautiful is because once you start trimming the fat, not literally, but emotionally and mentally, you get to be the most authentic, dynamic person that you are. You don't have those voices in your head holding you back. The downside of that is people may not be ready around you. So be prepared because as you develop, as you lose weight, as you start to glow from the inside, that is not figurative. I have seen it. People have a settledness about themselves. People literally have a glow about them because they're just radiating health. People get scared. That is a threat to a lot of people who are not doing that, and they see that as a slight against them. I remember on The Biggest Loser one time, it was a son and father doing The Biggest Loser together, and they went home. They got to go home for a visit, and the mother was crying, and she literally said, "You're leaving me behind." She felt threatened because they were getting healthy and she was still where she was. Even though she could make
Mhm.
those same decisions, and I'm not saying The Biggest Loser is a way to lose weight because no, that's terrible, but that's besides the point. It's just an example of how people will feel left behind and to be prepared for that and to stay in your honor. Say, I'm doing this for me. This is about me, my journey. You have your journey. So disentangling yourself from other people's ideas of how life should be is so important. And I recently heard this guy say, he goes, when people say, "Oh, you're not going to eat that, you're not going to drink that," I was like, no, because I care about my health. Like that's you don't even have to explain, but if you want to say something, that's no, I care about my health. It has nothing to do with them. It has nothing to do
Right.
with anybody else but your journey. So that's
Mm.
kind of the a little topic of the pluses and minuses of losing that weight. But let me tell you, the upside is far outweighs anything on the downside for sure.
Yes, absolutely. So your philosophy is your best health is closer than you think. What does that mean? Oh, now she's choking on her water there.
Forgive me, yeah. Just a little more. Yes, your best health is closer than you think. Because people tend to think that it's something way off in the distance. I was at Target one day, excuse me, and I was just walking through and I glanced over and I see this t-shirt. It says, "The future happens now." And I've probably seen that a million times. And I'm like, yeah, the future happens now. The choices we make today affect our future. Now, I could be the most healthiest, vibrant human being on the planet, step off the curb and get mowed down by a Mack truck tomorrow. I mean, like, we have no guarantees in how long. we're going to be here, right? That is beyond our control at the end of the day. But um, the thing is the quality of life. And so how are you spending? That's why we start with how are you spending your time? How are you spending your time every day? How are you passing the time? Y'all, sometimes I like a good Netflix and chill, not like how the kids, I mean, like literally a bowl of popcorn, maybe a Dr. Pepper on occasion, because I do love Dr. Pepper, and, a good movie, like chilling out. I'm all about the chill time. It's not about being on all the time. It's about being mindful of how you're spending your time, what's occupying your thoughts, what's occupying your energy every day. We all have 24 hours in the day. And someone said recently, oh, I hate when people say that. I'm like, but it's true. How are you spending your 24 hours in the day? Are you worrying? Are you gossiping? Are you filling yourself with toxic things mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally? I mean, how are you spending your time? So when we look at health, it's right here, right now. Like it is closer than you think. It's not something off in the distance. We can start right here in this moment, making a better choice. And that's what's awesome is it's in the present moment. And every single small little choice that you make, going to bed a little earlier, drinking a little more water, a little less sody pops, all those little things, they add up. I think these bracelets that I have, it's like all these little beads individually are fine, but when you put them all together, they make something beautiful. And that's what the moment to moment thing is. It's you start to create this beautiful flow of life. And even when things go sideways, several few years ago, my son, he had a brain tumor. He had to have surgery. I had to fly up to Austin in my car. Like I flew up there to be with him for the week. I still worked out. I still was mindful of what I ate because it was on autopilot. I did not let my health go because I had those staples. And you know what? It kept me from totally freaking out because that was a lot. He's fine now. He's great. He's wonderful. But when we start creating these pillars in our life, we realize that our health is not in the future. It's happening right now. And so you get to choose right now. So that's awesome.
Yeah, the choices that we make today matter for tomorrow. And I
They
love that.
really
And,
do.
it's happening right now.
Yeah. What are you doing in the next
Though,
5 minutes?
yeah.
5 minutes
Though
at a time.
before we wrap up, I'd love to give you the opportunity to share a little bit about your school community. Tell us a little bit about that, and also your offer, the 5 minute morning reset. So if you would share a
Yeah.
little bit about those, that'd be great.
I'm so excited. I already had this fabulous business in my group coaching, but now I've gone next level. So I have opened a school group. It's SKOOL, and it's called the Moglow Wellness Collective. And so it's a free community where women can come in if they want to lose weight, they want to figure things out. I post every day in the group. I just finished the welcoming sequence, which is really doable. Just like with my method, I have the Restore Your Rhythm method, and when you come in, it's step by step. You just do whatever you have time for today. I have it broken down into small bite-sized pieces. I just launched it. I'm so excited about this because it's like a virtual brick and mortar where you can just come and hang with other people who are doing the same things as you. I'm going to be starting next week. I'm going to be doing weekly coaching in the community on subjects that are hot topics. I also have a paid group, which is weekly coaching sessions, monthly masterminds. I'll be doing my podcast in there, so you get access to the podcast first, audience Q&A with various health experts. So I'm really excited, but there's so much content in the free community that I really encourage you to check it out, the Moglow Wellness Collective, because it's just full of things that if you want to live a healthy life, even that is will be enough if you're really keen to get yourself healthy. And then so I'm all about time, right? And so I developed my free offer for you. It's called the Busy Woman's 5 Minute Morning Reset. How your day goes really depends on the first few moments of your day. What is the tone you set first thing in the morning? So this is a 5 minute morning reset. Little things that you can focus on. You do, you boo, what works for you. So these are just five little things that everyone can do in the first 5 minutes just to set your day off feeling in control, feeling grounded, feeling like you are already succeeding. And in there is like a 7 day challenge if you so wish. I also have really great easy protein recipes that you can start your day with. So, really, really cool little collective of its own that you can use as a resource to start living your best and healthiest life.
And tell us how we can listen or connect with you. What's the best way for people to connect with you, Mo?
If you go to my website, momindbodysoul.com, that's M-O, mindbodysoul.com, that is where you can have access to everything. My 5 minute morning reset, my school group invitations, everything is right there. You can learn a little bit about me, how I've helped women transform their lives for the better. And that's it's a good one stop shop right there, one stop hub to get welcome you into my world where you will feel confident and enriched and lifted up. And that is my goal, my mission in this life.
So Mo, what I appreciate most about this conversation is that you've reminded us that transformation doesn't happen because you become perfect. It happens because we become aware. And because we stop fighting ourselves long enough to understand ourselves. And sometimes the most powerful health breakthrough isn't found in another diet or another plan. It's found in finally believing that we're worthy of caring for ourselves the way we care for everyone else. And I love that about the work that you do, that you dive deep into understanding how important it is to care for ourselves. So thank you so much for being here with me today.
It's an inside
We're,
job.
yeah.
This health is an inside job. Like you're right here. Forget what everyone else is telling you. Your healthiest person. You have to live with yourself for the rest of your life. So why not make it a great relationship? And that's where you start getting healthy is right here inside of you. It might be scary, but I know you can do it.
Beautiful. So, if today's conversation reminded you that lasting health isn't about perfection, it's about sustainable habits, self awareness, and learning to work with yourself instead of against yourself, then I hope you'll carry that into your next decision, your next routine, and your next season of growth because your best health may be much closer than you think. And if you're ready to strengthen your communication, clarify your message, build confidence in your voice, and connect more authentically in business and life, I'd love to invite you to join us inside the Brand Success Hub. The hub was designed for entrepreneurs, professionals, leaders, and communicators who are done second guessing themselves and ready to communicate with more clarity, confidence, and compassion while learning practical strategies that actually work in the real world. Learn more at 30secondsuccess.com and just know that Mo is planning to share a short training with us on the, your best health, your mind, body, and soul is hiding in your calendar. So you can look forward to that in the Brand Success Hub. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who may need this reminder today. And until next time, stand in your brand, trust your voice, and remember, success is just 30 seconds away.